Welcome back to What's the Matter Coaching. My name is Oscar.
My name is Crystal.
And today we're going to be talking about Episode 7, Highly Evolved Beings, Freely Navigating Through Truth.
Yes, and today we're going to be talking about what does it mean to freely navigate through truth, why it's important, and how you can navigate freely.
Perfect. So let's first talk about a little bit of the what, right? What is truth to begin with? Well, the one truth that we want to align you with in this video, of course with your own choice, is going to be what has already been proven and always existed, which is that we've been created by a creator, and through our science, quantum physics has been proven that every single particle of existence contains the whole of the universe, of the multiverse of everything. So basically, in other words, right now you are not aware of how to get from point A to point B, your best version, your dream life, but in every moment is contained the ability and potential to go ahead and become enlightened automatically from one moment to the next. So as you can see, we contain everything in each moment, and we are connected to everything. I'm connected to her. I'm connected to the trees, the phone, the table that this phone is on, every single thing.
Cars just passing by.
All right, so this is the one primordial truth that has always existed, and that will always allow us to come back to this home base in our own understanding and our own personal journeys of discovering truth. So now that we can, really realize what is this truth, now we can move on to the why. Why is it important to freely navigate through truth? Now we're going to talk a little bit about the freedom. What happens when you get stuck, Crystal? Tell me a little bit about your experience.
When you get stuck, you get really into the matrix, how they call it, because you don't. For example, for me, it was that I got so stuck that I wasn't allowing myself to be Crystal. I thought that I had to be another person, that I had to be spiritual, that I have to be acting certain way, and that really kept me to enjoy my own self. That is, no, I am Crystal. I don't have to act like no one else. It's me. It's Crystal and the Creator expressing through Crystal.
Through Crystal, exactly. And tell me a little bit about how that wasn't allowing you to be happy, right?
It wasn't allowing me to be happy because since I was so much in my thoughts, I wasn't in the moment. So even when I was going out to do ice skating or to do any activity outside, I wasn't completely in the moment, and I couldn't let myself. I was keeping myself to enjoy myself in the moment.
And so another reminder right to top this off. So what is contained within the moment? Everything. The happiness you seek, the bliss that you want to experience on a daily basis. But if you are to experience bliss on a daily basis, then you would have to be in the moment on a daily basis to actuate that bliss. Because if you're thinking, then you're going to be setting expectations, you're going to be limiting yourself, and you're not going to be free. And that's the whole point here, guys. We want to convey to you that one thing is navigating through truth, right? Go along the journey, navigate through your own personal truth. That's fine. But are you going to be free? Or are you going to be hitting walls back to back to back and suffering? The whole point is to go through the path of truth without suffering so much, right? There should be no reason. And that's why people like ourselves are here. That's what we're here to do. To assist you in recognizing that it doesn't have to be so difficult. It doesn't have to be so hard. To just stay tuned to certain principles and certain intentions that will allow you to maintain the state of happiness, joy, experiencing life, experiencing your journey with complete joy, knowing that it's your own experience. And so now let's move on to, well, actually before we go into the how, let's just talk a little bit about, what another thing that doesn't allow you to see the highest truth in most cases, and that is going to be the personality, as she was saying. Her thoughts are her personality that was becoming rigid, and she wasn't allowing herself to feel happiness because she wasn't in the moment. So a lot of the times when you're navigating through your own experience, you're going to have your own personal truth, but your personality also has bias, okay? And then this bias is going to interpret truth in every direction through that degree of bias. So let's say you read a book that has a bunch of spiritual truth, but due to your own ego and personality, you're going to interpret that completely in another way. in a way where it's not aligned with divinity, in a way where it's greedy, in a way where it's selfish, in a way that you're seeking power and not really service or love. And so, you know, that
in a way that is distorted.
And distorted, yeah, a distortion. That's another way of saying it. That's from the book of Law of One. That we highly recommend as well, the raw material. And so the thing is that when you misunderstand and misinterpret the truth through your own personal journey, you're going to be walking around life and you're going to be spreading that misunderstood truth that hasn't been purified, keyword guys, purified, through your purified intention to be of service, to be of love for the world. And you're going to be saying that to everyone, so that you're going to be understanding something and you're going to be passing it on like an infectious disease, so that people are not going to be aligned and not going to be making actual progress. And that's where the whole thing comes of divine. We want heaven on earth. We want to get to heaven, right? We want to be divine. Well, this is how we align with that. And so always stay aware that your personality will have these fundamental qualities, but that's only because that the bias comes from the mind. As soon as you start creating that space that is no mind, that state of presence, then you are able to maintain that level of purity, that level of divine presence, and speak that truth to everyone else without confusing them, without, you know, saying something that is not, something that isn't a part of the isness that's right here, right now, in the moment. So let's move on now to the how.
How?
So tell me, Crystal, a little bit of techniques or something that will allow them. I know we talked about one earlier, of how they can start to freely navigate through truth.
So the one that I am using and currently using is the one of seeing your thoughts and not engaging with them. Like literally just watch them and stay totally in the present, in a state of total neutrality.
But tell me how that's different though than replacing thoughts.
Because when you replace the thought, you're actually engaging in the thought. You're grabbing the thought. No, I don't want this thought. I want this thought.
Well, look what's happening. As soon as let's say I want to replace her, she's a thought, and I want to replace her, and I go ahead and grab her. Look at the action that's happening. I'm interacting with that thought, that bias that I do not want, right? And look what she can do. What can you do now that I'm touching you? Yeah, look,
I'm getting
control. Oh no! And then she pulls me into that thought loop. Your own thought, your own mind.
And you get frustrated.
You see, that all comes from your own mind, your own rigid personality full of bias. It pulls you in to that stream of lower vibration, lower energy, lower consciousness, and instead of staying in a space of clarity, bliss, and emptiness.
And it's really important to really stay in this state of neutrality, because is more than you get more frustrated, and it's like you know that you cannot be engaged with the thought, but you don't know how to get out of your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you get stressed, and it's like, no, I don't want to be part of my thoughts, and it's like, no, okay, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Everything's perfect.
Hey, and that's okay. You see that expression that you just saw on camera? That is okay. A lot of times you're going to be on your journey and you're going to be so freaking frustrated of trying to get into the present moment, of trying to get into the space of no mind and to not be chaotic within your head, that a lot of the times you're literally going to have to go because just by you wanting to stop thinking, you're thinking about not thinking, and that causes frustration as well. But it's about really relaxing, letting go, accepting, and surrendering. All right, I'm thinking. Okay. Slowly but surely, as you align with stillness, stillness then turns into emptiness, emptiness then turns into clarity, and clarity then turns into enlightenment. Okay? So, what's another technique that we can advise them of? I know I told you one.
I know that we talked about one before. It was the one was allowing acceptance. It was acceptance, I believe so.
Yes.
Accepting that where you at in your path.
There, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to tackle. Is that look, each person is on their path, and what would be wise to be a main focus of yours is to realize that every person is going to have a different level of truth, and that's how you will be able to freely navigate in this whole world that's full of a bunch of truth about who you are. The way you're going to be able to freely and happily navigate through this is by recognizing that every person is going to have a different version of that same truth that has always been evident, that always exists, right? Which starts from that one core truth of all is one. And so respecting everyone's journey, everyone's truth, And realizing as each person empties themselves out, removes the clutter, the bias, the impurities, they will start to align themselves more with divinity, with a higher version of purified truth, and to the point where we all speak to one another from that same place of oneness, that same place of pure intention. And then all those lower truths that were misinterpreted start to be replaced and start to transform, start to transmute themselves into a higher level of energetic truth that's in resonance with oneness, with love, with light, unity, all those things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Welcome to What's the Matter Coaching. What's the matter with you? What is matter really?
What's the matter with the world?
Exactly. So let's evolve. See you in the next video.